visiting lands far, far away from all that I know, and finding a kind of peace that isn't available in everyday life. And so tonight, we will do just that. We'll visit a land far, far away, and we'll meet a young girl named Elowen, a princess, and we'll follow her on a beautiful journey that she takes with a kind and wise owl. But maybe the journey isn't quite what you're led to believe, and maybe one day you'll hear the end of this story, and you'll understand what I mean. Okay, let's do the relaxation session now, which will take a few minutes before tonight's sleep story. I'm going to count down from 10 to 1, and as I do, allow yourself to let go more and more. 10. Feel the support of the bed beneath you, or the floor, or whatever you lie upon tonight. And beneath whatever you lie upon, feel the ever-present support of the earth, our home, our constant support. And with the knowledge of that support now, the awareness of it, see if you can allow yourself to let go a little bit more now, to soften a little bit more now, to ease into this moment a little bit more now. 9. You are safe. Allow my voice to be a friend tonight, an anchor of safety, an anchor of trust that will only ever take you to safe places. And with this knowledge, with this safety, ease more into this moment of peace, this moment of rest, this moment that is yours. 8. Peace lives within you. It is a constant friend, for it is always there, just waiting to be seen, waiting to be heard, waiting to be felt. See if you can find your constant friend tonight. And if you do, where does it dwell within you? And when you find it, see if you can feel it throughout yourself, both in your body and in your mind. 7. The day is done. Whatever has been, has been. Whatever will be, will be. Just let go now. Whatever thoughts you might have about what has been, or whatever thoughts you might have about what will come. In this moment, the best way you can serve yourself is to see those thoughts, recognize them for what they are, thoughts, and not you, and let them go, for they will still be there tomorrow. So watch them float away now, like clouds in a starlit sky, or leaves on a moonlit river. 6. This is your moment. This is your time. Enjoy that fact. Enjoy that you have nowhere to be, nowhere to go. And by moving towards rest and sleep now, you are doing the best possible thing you can for yourself. Perhaps allow a little coziness in this moment, A feeling that because this is your moment, that you move a little bit more under the covers. A little bit more of a feeling of warmth. 5. Feel into your body now. See where you are still holding. Maybe it's in your feet. Maybe it's in your lower legs. Maybe it's in your belly. Maybe it's in your chest. Maybe your hands. Or maybe your face. Your body has worked hard for you today. It's time to let it rest. 4. Perhaps allow a little gratitude now. Gratitude for the simple things. Gratitude for the shelter you have tonight. Gratitude for life. Gratitude for those you care about. 3. Begin to engage with your imagination now. Begin to see in your mind's eye a beautiful castle surrounded by beautiful forests, and begin to feel the peace of being far away from all that you know. 2. Checking in one more time now. Releasing any tension. And 1. Completely letting go now. As I tell you tonight's sleep story. Long, long ago, in a land far, far away, there lived a young woman named Elowen. Now, you might say that Elowen had it all. She was the daughter of a queen and a king. She lived in a castle. She lived in a beautiful kingdom. But there was one thing that Elowen craved, and that was deep and restful sleep. She consulted all manner of people in pursuit of sleep, from wizards to white witches, from great doctors to the greatest of all the thinkers in the land, but none could offer her the respite she desperately needed. Then, one beautiful day, as Elowen was sitting at her balcony, just at her bedroom window, high up in the castle, looking out upon the land below, an owl swooped down and perched next to her. Elowen greeted the owl. "Hello, Mr. Owl," she said, and to her great surprise, the owl responded. "Hello, Elowen. You can talk," Elowen said. "Well, yes, I know that," the owl responded. "I'm here because I know that you have been having a little trouble sleeping. I've flown an awfully long way, and my wings hurt. So, first things first, could I trouble you for a little water?" "Oh, yes," said Elowen, before pouring the owl some crystal clear, rejuvenating water. After the owl drank the water, he continued, "Right, if you would like the sleep that you desire, there is a solution. There is a chamber, or a room, or call it what you will, but it is a long walk from here, a very long walk indeed, and in that chamber lies the sleep of your dreams. Would you be willing to come with me? I would ever so like to help you, and I do know that you deserve it, for you are the kindest girl." Elowen looked at the owl, her curiosity piqued, and a glimmer of hope igniting in her heart. She had tried everything within her reach to find rest, and now here was an owl offering a solution that seemed almost too magical to be true. Yet something in the owl's kind eyes and gentle demeanor made her trust him. "Yes, Mr. Owl," she said, "I will come with you. Please, lead the way." With a graceful nod, the owl took flight, gliding down from the balcony and across the sprawling gardens of the castle. Elowen quickly gathered a small satchel with a few essentials and descended the castle steps, waving goodbye to her bemused parents, the king and queen. She followed the owl through the palace gates and into the enchanted forest that bordered her kingdom. As they ventured deeper into the forest, the sunlight filtered through the dense canopy above, casting dappled shadows on the path. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers and the soft rustle of leaves in the gentle breeze. Elowen felt a sense of calm wash over her, and she immediately began to feel more peaceful. The owl led her along winding paths, through glades where the flowers glowed with a beautiful light, and past streams that sparkled like liquid crystal. Every step brought them closer to this distant place, and with each passing moment, Elowen felt her worries begin to melt away. After some time of walking, they arrived at a quaint clearing where a group of forest animals had gathered. Among them were a wise old tortoise, a cheerful rabbit, and a pair of playful squirrels. They seemed to be waiting for Elowen and the owl, their eyes filled with curiosity and welcome. "Hello, travelers," the tortoise said in a slow, measured voice. "We have heard of your journey and wish to accompany you for a while. The forest is full of wonders, and it is always better to travel with friends." Elowen smiled and nodded, grateful for the company. The rabbit hopped forward, his eyes twinkling with excitement. "I know a path that leads through the most beautiful parts of the forest," he said. "Follow me, and I promise you will see sights that will lift your spirits and soothe your soul." With their new friends leading the way, Elowen and the owl continued their journey through the forest. They walked past ancient trees whose branches reached up to the sky, forming a natural cathedral of leaves and light. The path meandered through fields of wildflowers that danced in the breeze, their petals a riot of colors. And as they walked, the forest animals shared stories of their lives and the magic of the forest. The squirrels chattered about the hidden groves where they stored their nuts, and the rabbit spoke of moonlit nights when the forest came alive with the sounds of nocturnal creatures. The tortoise, wise and old, recounted tales of the forest's ancient history and the mystical beings that protected it. And the forest seemed to welcome them all, each step bringing them closer together and making the path feel lighter and more joyful. "Look over there," the tortoise said, nodding towards a grove of ancient oak trees. "These trees have stood for centuries, providing shelter and wisdom to all who seek it. They remind us that strength and patience go hand in hand, and that even the mightiest oak started as a little acorn." Elowen listened intently, her mind absorbing the wisdom of her new friend. The rabbit, always eager and energetic, hopped ahead and called back to the group. "Come, there's a meadow up ahead that's filled with the most beautiful butterflies. It's a place where all your worries seem to float away on the breeze." When they reached the meadow, Elowen was entranced by the sight before her. Hundreds of butterflies flitted from flower to flower. She felt a sense of peace and joy wash over her as she watched them dance in the sunlight. And now, as they rested in the meadow, a gentle breeze refreshed them all. Then they turned to see a bird, a small bird with bright plumage, perched on a nearby branch. "Hello, travelers," the bird chirped. "I am Lyric, the songbird. May I join you on your journey and share my songs of hope and joy?" "Of course," Elowen replied, delighted by the growing number of companions. Lyric began to sing, her voice clear and melodious, filling the air with a soothing tune that seemed to lift everyone's spirits even higher. The song told of the beauty of the forest, the strength found in friendship, and the peace that comes from being connected to the world around you. And as the day progressed, they continued their journey. They met a wise old fox named Sage, who shared stories of courage and cleverness, teaching Elowen that sometimes the answers to our problems are found within ourselves. They also encountered a gentle deer named Grace, who spoke of kindness and empathy, and how understanding others can bring peace to our hearts. With each story and each new friend, Elowen felt her worries and restlessness diminish. Then they encountered a shimmering pond, surrounded by willows. The water was so clear that Elowen could see her reflection perfectly, and the surface was dotted with blooming water lilies. A family of ducks paddled serenely across the pond, their movements creating gentle ripples that glistened in the sunlight. Elowen knelt by the water, and as she did, a frog hopped onto a lily pad nearby. "Greetings, travelers," the frog croaked cheerfully. "I am Puddle, the guardian of this pond. The water here has special properties that can wash away any lingering worries. Would you like to take a moment to refresh yourselves?" Elowen and her friends eagerly agreed. She cupped the cool, clear water in her hands and splashed her face, feeling an immediate sense of rejuvenation. The owl perched on a nearby branch, watching over them with a serene expression. The tortoise dipped his feet into the pond. The rabbit and squirrels played at the water's edge, and Lyric's song mingled with the sounds of the forest. Then, as they continued on their way, the forest began to change. The trees grew taller and closer together, their leaves forming a thick canopy overhead. Sunlight filtered through in dappled patterns, and the air was filled with the scent of pine and earth. They then came across a grove of ancient trees, their bark gnarled and twisted with age, and nestled among their roots was a small, cozy den. From the den emerged a kindly badger named Hearth. "Welcome, travelers," he said in a deep, warm voice. "This grove has stood here for centuries, a place of refuge and rest. Would you care to join me for a while and share your tales? Every journey needs moments of pause and reflection." They gathered around Hearth, sharing stories of their journey so far and the wisdom they had gained from their new friends. Hearth listened intently, nodding and occasionally adding his own insights. He spoke of the importance of balance, of knowing when to press forward and when to rest, and how every journey is enriched by the companions we meet along the way. Feeling revitalized by their time with Hearth, Elowen and her new friends continued their journey through the forest, and as Elowen walked, a sense of familiarity began to settle over her. The path, now bathed in the soft glow of twilight, felt like a memory from a dream, guiding her towards a destination that felt both new and deeply known. The first stars now appeared in the deepening sky, twinkling like tiny beacons of light. Their gentle illumination cast a magical glow over the forest, transforming it into a realm of shadows and light. The air grew cooler, carrying the scents of pine and moss, mingled with the sweet fragrance of night-blooming flowers. Elowen noticed how the familiar landmarks of the forest started to appear. A crooked oak tree with a hollow trunk, a bubbling spring with clear, sweet water, and a small bridge made of ancient stones. These were places she had seen before, in her dreams and in her childhood wanderings. Each step she took felt like a homecoming, and her heart swelled with a sense of belonging. The owl, perched on a low branch, observed Elowen with wise, knowing eyes. "Do you recognize this place, Elowen?" he asked softly. "Sometimes the paths we walk lead us back to where we started, but with new wisdom and understanding." Elowen nodded, a smile spreading across her face. "Yes, Mr. Owl," she replied. "This forest feels like an old friend, one I haven't seen in many years. It's as if the forest itself is guiding me back home." As dusk settled into night, the group found themselves in a glade, bathed in the soft, silvery light of the moon. The stars above twinkled brightly, creating a comforting canopy of light that seemed to watch over them. Elowen and her companions decided to rest for a while in the glade, their journey having filled them with a deep sense of peace and connection. They lay on the soft grass, gazing up at the stars, sharing stories and dreams. The familiar surroundings and the presence of her friends made Elowen feel a warmth and comfort she had longed for. And in the stillness of the night, Elowen realized that her journey had been more than just a physical one. It had been a journey of the heart, one that had brought her closer to herself and to the people and places she loved, and to these little animals who were her new friends forever. She felt a deep sense of gratitude to the little animals for the wisdom she had gained and the friendships she had made. And as they then continued their walk through the safe and comforting forest, Elowen noticed a familiar silhouette emerging through the trees. She rubbed her eyes, and there it was, a castle. The castle's turrets and towers were unmistakable. "And here we are," said the owl, his voice gentle and reassuring. Elowen turned to the owl, her heart pounding with a mix of realization and wonder. "Mr. Owl," she whispered, "this is my castle. How is it possible that we are back here?" The owl looked at her with his wise, knowing eyes. Yes, Elowen, you have returned to your own castle. The Chamber of Dreams you sought was never a distant place, but right here all along. Sorry if I misled you, but I thought you might forgive me. Sometimes the journey we undertake is not to discover a new destination, but to find what was missing within ourselves. Elowen stood still for a moment, the weight of the owl's words sinking in. She had ventured far and wide, met many wonderful friends, and heard stories that had enriched her soul. Each step of the journey had brought her closer to understanding that true rest and true peace come from within, from the connections we forge and the wisdom we gain along the way. The familiar stone walls and warm lights of her castle now seemed to welcome her with open arms. She looked around at the forest, at her friends gathered by her side, and felt happy. The path she had walked had brought her full circle, back to the place she called home, but with a heart full of new memories and insights. "Thank you, Mr. Owl," she said softly. "I understand now." The owl nodded. "You have always had the power to find rest and peace, Elowen. It was within you all along. Now, go and rest in your own chamber of dreams, knowing that you are surrounded by love and friendship." And with a heart lighter than it had been in years, Elowen walked towards her castle, her friends by her side. Then she turned and bid goodnight to them. She knew she would see them again, and they all waved goodbye as she entered the grand doors and made her way to her own chamber. And with each step she took, she felt herself filled with a sense of homecoming that she had never really appreciated before. The warm glow of the castle's lanterns seemed to welcome her back. She climbed the grand staircase, her heart lighter with each step, knowing that she was about to experience the rest she had been seeking for so long. She bid goodnight to her parents, who were happy to see her home, of course, and when she reached her bedroom, the same room she had left earlier that day, feeling so lost, she paused for a moment. The room looked just as it always had. The large, inviting bed, with its soft, plush blankets, the wooden furniture that had been in her family for generations, and the delicate curtains that fluttered gently in the night breeze. But tonight, everything felt different. The room now radiated a warmth and tranquility that Elowen had never noticed before. She walked over to her bed and sat down, feeling the familiar softness of the mattress beneath her. The sense of relief and release was immediate and profound. It was as if all the tension and restlessness that she had carried with her for so long melted away in that instant. She took a deep breath, inhaling the soothing scents of lavender and chamomile that filled the room, and she felt a wave of calm wash over her. As she lay back on her pillows, Elowen looked up at the ceiling and saw the familiar wooden beams above. The moonlight streamed through the window, casting a gentle glow across the room. She closed her eyes and allowed herself to fully sink into the comfort of her bed. The sounds of the night outside, the soft rustle of leaves, and the distant call of an owl lulled her into a state of deep relaxation. The sense of completeness she felt was overwhelming. The journey she had undertaken, the friends she had made, and the wisdom she had gained had all brought her to this moment. She realized that everything she needed for peace and restful sleep had been within her all along, waiting for her to discover it. The sense of lostness that had plagued her was replaced by a profound sense of safety and belonging and contentment. And as she drifted into sleep, Elowen felt a deep, abiding peace settle over her. The relief of finally finding the rest she had sought for so long filled her heart with joy. Her dreams were filled with the faces of her friends, the little animals, the beauty of the forest, and the wisdom she had gained from her journey. She slept soundly and deeply, knowing that she was home, surrounded by love and comfort. And so, Elowen, the princess, found her chamber of dreams, not in a distant land, but within her own heart and within her own home, where true peace and rest always reside.